The COVID-19 pandemic, 2020-2022, was one of the most defining events in U.S. history, shaking the nation in every possible way, medically, socially, and economically. It began in January 2020 when the first case was reported in Washington state, but by March, the virus had spread to every corner of the country. The U.S. government declared a national emergency as infection numbers surged dramatically. Major cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Miami became hotspots, and hospitals were pushed far beyond capacity. Doctors and nurses worked around the clock in overcrowded emergency rooms, surrounded by the constant sound of ventilators and alarms. Many hospitals ran short on protective equipment, forcing staff to reuse masks and gowns. Temporary field hospitals were built in stadiums and convention centers, and refrigerated trucks were parked outside hospitals to store bodies as morgues filled up. These shocking visuals, shared widely on YouTube, Twitter, and news broadcasts, brought the nation to tears and went viral across the world. The lockdowns were historic in scale. Schools and universities shut down completely, switching to online learning. Businesses, theaters, restaurants, and gyms closed, leading to mass unemployment. By April 2020, over 20 million Americans had lost their jobs, and long lines formed outside food banks as families struggled to survive. Streets in cities like New York and San Francisco, once busy with traffic, were deserted. Flights were grounded, borders were closed, and the U.S. economy entered one of its deepest recessions. Panic buying swept across supermarkets. Items like toilet paper, masks, and hand sanitizer disappeared from shelves. At the same time, conspiracy theories and misinformation about the virus spread widely on social media, creating public confusion and mistrust. Politically, the pandemic became one of the most controversial topics in American life. Under President Donald Trump, the government initially downplayed the virus, leading to accusations of mismanagement. Public health officials like Dr. Anthony Fauci became household names as they appeared daily on TV, urging people to wear masks and practice social distancing. Protests erupted across states, some demanding stricter lockdowns for safety, while others called them an attack on personal freedom. The U.S. response was fragmented, with different states enforcing different rules. New York implemented strict curfews and mask mandates, while some southern states reopened businesses early, causing spikes in cases. By late 2020, hope emerged when the U.S. government launched Operation Warp Speed, a massive program to develop and distribute vaccines quickly. Within months, vaccines from Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson were approved, marking a scientific breakthrough. In early 2021, under President Joe Biden, vaccination campaigns expanded rapidly, with millions of doses administered daily. Stadiums, pharmacies, schools, and drive-through centers turned into vaccination sites. Americans started sharing videos of their vaccinations online, creating a wave of hope and relief. However, new variants like Delta and Omicron caused fresh surges, overwhelming hospitals again in 2021 and early 2022. During these years, everyday life in America changed completely. People worked remotely from home, classrooms became digital, and masks became part of daily fashion. Weddings, funerals, and celebrations were held on Zoom. The entertainment industry paused. Sports events were canceled or played without audiences, and Hollywood productions shut down. Mental health struggles rose sharply due to isolation and uncertainty. Yet, there were also inspiring moments. Communities organized donation drives. Volunteers delivered food to the elderly, and people clapped from balconies every evening to honor frontline workers. By mid-2022, vaccines, improved treatments, and herd immunity finally helped the country reopen. Mask mandates were lifted, schools and businesses resumed, and cities slowly came back to life. But the cost was unimaginable. Over 1 million Americans died. Millions more suffered long-term health effects, and the economy took years to recover. The pandemic exposed weaknesses in the U.S. healthcare system, but also highlighted its scientific strength and resilience. The images of empty Times Square, exhausted nurses crying behind face shields, and Americans cheering in vaccination centers became iconic. The COVID-19 pandemic in the United States was more than a health disaster. It was a story of human struggle, political conflict, scientific triumph, and the collective fight for survival that captured the attention of the entire world and went viral across every media platform.